During this demonstration, we'll be discussing the document administrator. The document administrator is the individual in your organization with the security and privileges to set up your document warehouse and all of the fields that are required for your document storage. Log in as the demo document administrator. You'll see that when you first start the application for the very first time, it points you as to where to choose your actions. You'll have a documents menu in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Within this menu, you have three options, the first being storage, the second being folders, and the third being documents. We'll begin this process in the storage folder. You pick storage and select your company from the drop-down list. If you manage more than one company, each of those companies will be listed in this particular interface. Here you define your FTP server. This is the actual location where your files are going to be stored. There is a good place that you can actually acquire these is from rapidfiredomains.com. You can get a FTP account with a website. You want to make sure that your website is enabled without document browsing. You set up your domain name FTP account to point to your website. You'll specify the FTP address in your FTP folder. So, for example, it would be ftp://acme.com. Then you will also specify the URL address to that same folder, which will be specified as http://acme.com. You will put in the username that's required to log into the FTP site for uploads and downloads. So this is your user ID and your password. The tools that are required to upload files into these folders and enter the data by your users can be downloaded from this link right here where it says download the UI uploader. This will install an application that has a key on it down here at the bottom and will pop up with an interface that will check for the latest version and give you a login screen. Now we'll get to this we'll get back to this in just a moment, but for now, after you have your information in your storage settings, you hit the save option, and that will save all those settings for that particular file. Now in the folders, this is where you actually specify where or how you're slotting the documents that are uploaded into your document warehouse. Again, you select the company where you're slotting these files, and you'll notice that there are no catalogs when you first start. You simply add a catalog by hitting the Add Catalog button, and here you can give a name for your catalog, such as images. There are two options here as far as require archive. You can say 0 or 1. If this is set to 1, if you're uploading a batch of files or a batch of images, that batch of images will also create a single zip file that will be uploaded for that particular batch, or if it's set to 0, no zip files will be created. Simply hit the Accept button, and this creates your images catalog. Now, each catalog requires a category to slot your files into, so you can hit the Add Category button at the far right here on the toolbar where it says Add Category. If you decide that you don't like the name of images and you wanted to call this something different, you can simply hit the Edit Catalog button. It comes back up again, and here you can change this to your secret weapon images. There you go. So there's your secret weapon images. Now under your categories, you can add a category. We might call these the super bow, for example. And you hit Accept, and you'll see that it's created a super bow. Now each catalog can have fields. The fields for that for the catalog. Now we're talking about the secret weapon images catalog. We may decide that there's going to be a weapon number or a weapon ID that you associate with everything within the catalog. There you'll see there's your weapon ID. Now, when you're dealing with a super bow category, click that, you'll see this super bows have fields. So You can add a category field, and it might be something like the bow strength, as an example. There might be a bow length. And as many fields as you'd like to add into the categories. Now, you can have multiple categories. As I said, you have a super bow category. Now, you might have a different category, which might be jet boards. And when you're looking at jet boards, you'll notice that it doesn't have any fields other than your weapon ID, but the super bow has your bow length and the bow strength. Now, that basically all that there is for configuring your folders, your storage structure. The next part of this demonstration is going to be how to upload files into your organization and how to run the batch processes.